Hey guys, welcome back to Jurassic Collectibles. Super excited today because we're going to be taking a look at this. It's the brand new 2018 Quetzalcoatlus. You can find the item featured in today's review and more at everythingdinosaur.com. Check out their site today. This being one of the larger figures from Papo this year, I've been very much looking forward to seeing how this one came out. So without further ado, let's break this one out of the packaging. So as you can see, this one comes on a clear plastic base just to stop parts from warping. So let's remove it from that base. And the detail already is impressive. 2018 Papo Quetzalcoatlus out of the packaging, and I have to say the detail on this is gorgeous. First impressions are that the small micro feathers all over the body are really nicely done. They look really naturalistic, and I love the colours that they've used. Very earthy, grounded colours, true to Papo's style. Papo always seemed to capture really fantastic poses as well. You can really feel the struggle of the Quetzalcoatlus moving on the ground. Look at the flesh across the wing, the way that you can feel the tension in it with all those creases, and the way you've got these sort of blue veins running through it as well. Really, really beautiful. This Quetzalcoatlus does boast an articulated jaw, which looks really nicely disguised in closed mode. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at this thing. Starting off with the head sculpt, you can see all of this beautiful sculpted detail being picked up by a really nice semi-gloss finish. The eye looks really nicely seated in there. They've done that really nice black bordering around the eye. It makes such a huge difference, and I'm surprised that other dinosaur manufacturers don't use that trick. It's really, really cool. I love the paintwork on the crest there. Feels really naturalistic but also bold. And I just love the way the beak looks. There's something sort of Jurassic Park 3 Pteranodon-esque about the way this looks. I just really love the naturalistic combination of colours. The jaw actually opens with the top part moving back like this, and it's quite stiff for me, so I'm just going to push it as far as it will go. I think that is as far as it will go. There is a little bit of resistance, but you can see the inside of the mouth has been fantastically sculpted and painted. Absolutely beautiful, and it's even been weathered as well as like a brown weathering pass. You can see that they've used a nice wet gloss to bring that sort of genuine wet look to the interior of the mouth. Very, very nice. As I said, there is a little bit of resistance there, and I think I don't want to push it too far, but that's as far as mine will go, which is fine. That looks really impressive, and I think if it went back too far it would look kind of strange. But in terms of the sculpt, really, really impressive stuff, and I love the combination of different colours on this beak. Really, really beautiful. As we move down the neck, you can see we've got really lovely combinations of different colours going on, lots of weathering passes. Just helps bring realism to the piece. You can see the micro feathers starting on the back of the neck as we move down, and they're all branching off in different directions. Looks really sort of ruffled and naturalistic. As we move into the shoulder area, you can just see the hint of musculature as we come into the arm. Nice feeling of compression here as you've got this piece of flesh joining up between the arm there. Really nice feeling of the bone structure coming through as well. Really, really naturalistic. And you can see what I was talking about with the flesh of the wing. Just really lovely broad creases, just adding tension across that flesh. And actually it's really solid, but when you actually look at it, it looks really thin just because of the way they've sculpted it. Again, underneath you can see all this lovely blue veining going on, which adds a real sort of thin membrane-like quality to the wing. Really nice coloration on the end. This really dark coloration just adds a nice contrast to the coloration of the wing. You can see nicely painted and sculpted toe claws there. Nice gloss finish on the claws, a nice weathering on the fingers themselves. As we move into the torso, you can see really nice bony protrusions coming through the back. Nice musculature here, and you can feel again all the tension in this flesh. As we move back into these legs, lovely combinations of different browns going on. Something you kind of take for granted, but that combination of all those different passes of weathering takes a lot of time and effort. Nice gloss paint on those toe claws there. And you can see there's a nice gloss finish on the flesh on the back of the foot there. Nice little tail. And as we move into the other leg, you can see this leg is brought forward, which is a nice contrast to the other pose. Nice tension in the flesh here underneath the leg. Nice feeling of all the folds naturally creasing in this wing. That's actually a really hard thing to sculpt, but they seem to have got it spot on. Nice blue veining again, and again nice contrast in the pose. This arm is in a different pose to the opposite side, brought forward. Nice creases here in the flesh. Just a really gorgeous looking sculpt, and I love the way that the head is swung round here as if it's looking defensively, just checking that while it's on the ground, while it's vulnerable, that it's actually safe. And I think that's really, really lovely. Both the sculpt and the paint job are just absolutely gorgeous. So I've been saying this is a big piece, but let's see just how big it is. Let's whip out the tape measure. You're looking at about 20 centimeters long, about 8 inches. In terms of the height up to the top of that crest, you're looking at just under 4 inches, about 3.5 inches, which is about 9 centimeters tall. In terms of the width, if you're going from the tip of one wing to the other, you're looking at about 6 inches, about 15 centimeters. Size comparison time, let's bring in the Papo Quetzalcoatlus, which is new for 2018. We have reviewed this one on the channel, link is down below, but you can see it's a little bit shorter than the Quetzalcoatlus, but in terms of its body mass, it's much bigger. It's a much more hefty figure than this Quetzalcoatlus. Next, let's bring in the Papo Classic Green Tyrannosaurus Rex. I know a lot of you own this figure. Gives you a good idea of the scale. You can see that actually these two display really nicely next to each other. So this would usually be the point where I bring in our good friend Off Color Alan. But unfortunately my child has played with him and I can't seem to find him. Hashtag save Off Color Alan. But in the meantime, I've got everyone's favourite rock star mathematician. It's Ian Malcolm, or as I like to call him, Cranky Ian. You can see how they scale up next to each other. And obviously the Quetzalcoatlus doesn't fit in terms of scale, but it gives you a good idea how big the figure is. So there we have it, guys. That was today's look at the 2018 Quetzalcoatlus model from Papo. As usual, they are knocking this out of the park in terms of detail, paint and sculpt. I love the folds that have been sculpted into the membranes of the wings, and I love the combinations of different earthy colours on the beak, contrasted with that bright pink glossy interior. Just fantastic stuff. This is a wonderful piece to own, and if you're a Pterosaur fan or a Papo fan, you should not miss out on this model. Really, truly beautiful. Okay guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. In the meantime, rate and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Now you've seen it reviewed, why not pick up your own at everythingdinosaur.com. Link is in the description.